Hello, my name is Angela Princewell, and today I would like to talk to you about spousal support, but specifically the importance that the basis of entitlement has in a claim for spousal support. So often when parties separate and they're looking at whether or not they have a spousal support obligation, most of the focus is usually on how much income each spouse has and if there is some disparity in incomes. Well, the courts have made it clear that a mere disparity in income is not entitlement to spousal support. It doesn't mean that, but besides just a mere blanket, is a person entitled to spousal support or not, it's important for parties to put their mind to what sort of entitlement do I have. So am I entitled based on a compensatory basis, on a non-compensatory slash needs basis, or is my entitlement more contractual? So quickly, compensatory usually involves, cases where the recipient has the person was likely to receive support has suffered some sort of economic disadvantage because of the role they've adopted during marriage and sometimes on the marriage breakdown, and also it could also arise as a result of the benefit that the higher earning spouse has gotten as a result of the recipient's contribution to the marriage. So things like being a stay-at-home mom, for example, staying at home full-time or even on a part-time basis, so that you can allow the other party be the primary breadwinner while one person takes on the role of primary caregiver to the children, moving away with your partner so that they can advance their careers, or supporting them through school, assisting with paying for their education. Those are just a few examples of what could amount to a compensatory basis for spousal support. On the other hand, there's a non-compensatory basis of entitlement to spousal support, which covers your inability to meet basic needs, for example, or just the fact that you've suffered a significant decline in your standard of living following separation. There's then the contractual basis, which has been recognized by the courts, and I mean, a simple example of that would be where one party promised to see the other party through school, either because of some benefit that was conferred on them through the other spouse or their families and things like that. So there you have your three bases of entitlement, and it's important that you know that you have to establish entitlement on one of those bases, or even more than one. But it's important to think about on what basis am I entitled. And the reason is the basis of entitlement is really important in deciding how much you should get a spousal for spousal support, or how long your spousal support should last. Now, people have a tendency of always defaulting to the mid-range, and this is really a lazy way of doing that. You really need to look at what's the basis of entitlement in determining if a person should be receiving on the low range of the spousal support advisory guidelines, or if they should be receiving on the higher end. If a person's has a compensatory basis for receiving their spousal support, that could be strong arguments on why they should be entitled to the payors post-separation income increases. It could also be very important when you're looking at things like remarrying or repartnering and the effect it has on the duration of spousal support, terminating or varying spousal support in any case. So it's an often overlooked factor, but it's important that parties put their mind to it, and it would help in negotiating better spousal support deals for separating parties. So do give us a call or send us an email if you want, if you need assistance in sort of figuring out how much do I need to pay for spousal support and why, which is really, and for how long, of course. And it's important, the basis of entitlement. We always start out first, are you entitled or not? And on what basis are you entitled before we're able to answer these subsequent questions, so that ultimately we come up with an agreement that's fair on both sides. I hope you found that helpful.